Welcome to Talk Bowling, episode 133. I'm Dustin Seymour.
I'm Tony Rucco. Talk Bowling is proud to be bringing you the latest information from the bowling industry, bowling tips, and updates from the world's largest bowling website, bowlingball.com. Back again. Yeah, here we go.
Again.
I think I'm actually on vacation right now. That's what's happening.
That's awesome.
Dustin's on vacation too.
Wish I was on vacation. I'll start it out.
You'll start it out. I don't want to mess up the name again. Okay.
There's no name this time.
Okay, good.
So, what is the difference between pro pin balls and regular bowling balls? What oil patterns should you use them on?
So it's funny because pro pin, we were kind of involved in this at the beginning back. Gosh, I don't even know, maybe late '90s. There were some brands that had stock of balls. When they would make balls, there would be a percentage of balls that were made that didn't pass their quality. They were still first quality, they just didn't pass maybe their pin or top weight or the alignment with the mass bias. And so the balls were perfectly fine, they just didn't release them to the public. So what they would do is they would drill them for their staffers. Well, we got to talking to some of the people at those manufacturers and we decided to release them and call them pro pins. So what they did is at the time they went around to their top staffers and they got all their guys to tell them what their favorite layout is. And when you have a pin that's 5.5 or 6 inches long, you can do some different layouts. And so that's how that started. So pro pin was a term that was made up to describe that these balls were first quality, but they were used for pro layouts, because at the time that's really all they were used for. There's no difference except for the fact that the pin distance is longer. And I'm making numbers up, so don't hold me to these, but say Storm doesn't allow anything to go out of their factory over 4 3/4 of an inch. So anything over 4 3/4 was at the time considered a pro pin. There's not that many of them anymore because most of the manufacturers have really tightened up their production. And so you don't see things coming out with 6-inch pins anymore. But occasionally they do, and they don't really make their way into the market anymore. They do go straight to those staffers.
Right.
But so that's the only difference.
It's still laying out a ball.
Exactly. I mean? We could still put a pin 4 1/4 inches from your PAP, whether it's a 6-inch pin or a 3-inch pin. It's where's the CG going to fall? Do you need a hole? You could do some weird stuff with where CGs fell and where you had to put holes with those longer pins. And when they were on asymmetric balls, it kicked mass biases and stuff into weird places. But it's the same thing. There's no difference. There are layouts I've seen on pro pins that would be very difficult to do with a 3.5-inch pin, but besides that, that's all they were, and you're not going to see many of them anymore. I haven't seen one. Yes.
Brunswick makes them like up to 5.5.
Yeah, like, some of them extended it a little bit. Yes, pro pin was originally Storm. That's what they called them, and then they had pro CGs, which was the same thing, but where the CG was kicked out of the mass bias and pin line. But those you did have some unique layouts. But pro pins, as far as when to use them, if you get your hands on one, drill it and go have fun with it.
Yeah.
So, good question though. I would talk about pro pins all the time. Question from Facebook. Tony Dustin. It's like a new name. Tony Dustin.
Yeah.
Who are your favorite PBA bowlers ever, and who do you think is the best ever?
I guess let's start with our favorite, and then we can say who we think is the best. My favorite bowler of all time is Walter Ray Williams Jr. Just absolutely loved watching him as a kid. And I don't bowl anything like him, but he was so good. He never missed spares. He always seemed to be in contention. I loved watching him bowl. And he had a lot of competitiveness when he was younger, and he doesn't really have that anymore. But
he's still doing his thing.
Yeah.
All right, so we're doing favorite.
Yeah.
Okay, so favorite. My favorite is Johnny Petraglia. He was a super cool guy. I mean, obviously he's probably one of the best bowlers we've ever had in our sport. But as far as for what he does for the sport, on the behind-the-scenes side, he's probably one of the best ambassadors we have. And he's a super friendly, nice guy. We've had him down here for clinics and completely captivated 100 people at a time at a bowling center. So as far as favorite, he's definitely my favorite PBA bowler.
I got to throw out my alternates, which are probably Leto.
Yes.
And love Mike Halby.
Yeah, another classy guy.
Good.
Yep.
Threw it so good.
So who do you think is the best ever? Well, we're going to be from different. Well, we're going to be from a different era. There were probably some really good bowlers before you and I were.
All right, so I think
I got mine hands down.
I think there's three.
And I have to pick one.
Okay, if I pick one, the greatest bowler of all time, I'm picking Pete Weber. But I think Walter Ray is the greatest because he's won the most.
Yeah.
But I also think Norm Duke is the most technically sound bowler and can do the most with a bowling ball. So I might pick him over all three of them. You know,
He's mine.
Is he? Yeah.
Yeah, he's. And it's not by titles or money winnings, any of that. It is exactly what you said. I've seen Norm Duke on the same pair on TV play two and then hook the entire lane on the left lane. And I know we all bowl and we bowl league and we think it's awesome that we can hook the whole lane, but when you think about the conditions that those guys do that on in front of cameras, bowling for their livelihood, this is how they make their money. To be able to do that back-to-back shots and do it perfectly. I mean, there's going to be a little margin of error on both, but we can all mess around and say, yeah, we can play the twig over here and we can loop it from inside 20 over here, but
not
to do that when you're bowling against Walter Ray or
and
Pete
to be
Weber,
just as good as doing one as doing the other.
And I could be one. There could be tons of bowlers prior to my era that they're amazing. In my opinion, Norm Duke's the best ever, just because he's the most versatile bowler I've ever seen.
Doesn't make people mad, probably, but I mean, Belmo's gonna work his way up to being in the discussion. The guy is super versatile for being a two-hander.
My statement about Belmo, for all the people that don't like him, is that I could care less if he kicks it down the lane. He does it the same every time. So in a sport like bowling or golf where it's all about repetition, he definitely does repeat the shot over and over and over and over again. So he'll be in the discussion, but he'll never play 1 and 26.
Even though his first title, he threw plastic on the right lane, up the ditch, and then hooked the entire lane with a high red on the other lane.
Maybe.
He's good.
Duke looked cooler doing it.
Yeah, I agree. Norm Duke's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so good question.
Yeah.
All right, upcoming releases. August 11th, Roto Grip No Rules Exist, Roto Grip Hot Cell, Show Off, and Hustle Inc.
Pretty excited to see Jesper throw that hot cell.
Yeah, we had some weird conversations about that at Bowl Expo as far as putting a high performance core and a urethane cover. If it'll even do anything different than... I mean, obviously, Storm and Roto Grip don't put a ball out, just put a ball out, so I'm sure it does something cool.
I'm thinking it hooks a lot.
Yeah.
But
really well, it's urethane, though.
But there's some strong urethanes out there now. August 15th, Brunswick Vintage Inferno in magnitude 035, and the Deviate Pitbull, Growl, and Rumor.
And also, still no date on these. It could be really close to when this airs, but check out new Pyramid releases coming soon. There's going to be a new high performance and upper mid performance coming out here shortly.
And we give a ball each week away on bowlingball.com. I did that twice. Just click the 52 weeks, 52 winners image on the right side of the page to register.
Bowlingboards.com also gives away a bowling ball each week. Head over to bowlingboards.com, register, and make at least one post per week to be entered.
And Pyramid Bowling also has a weekly giveaway on their Facebook page. That's facebook.com/Pyramid Bowling. And all contests reset each week, so make sure you register every week.
That's right. All right, contact us. If you want to send us a question and hear our useless opinion on pro pins and bowlers, you can email us at questions@talkbowling.com, facebook.com/talkbowling, Twitter @talkbowling, or leave a comment on any Talk Bowling episode.
All right, last week's question of the week. Which PBA member holds the record for the number of cashes in a single season? Give us the year and the number of cashes. The answer is Tommy Hudson, and he had 34 cashes in 1977. That's a lot. That's probably more than they have tournaments now.
I was going to say, I don't think there's 34 tournaments now.
So Tommy, your record's safe. If
you'll be
if you're still alive.
You'll be all right.
Hopefully you are.
This week's question of the week. June 20th, 1997 marked the final episode of ABC Sports' Professional Bowlers Tour. Where was the tournament held?
Bonus points if you say who won, and he was. Well, I know who won, but
Bonus points from Dustin.
yeah.
All right. In closing, please remember that bowlingball.com is free shipping on every item every day. No hidden handling fees, no packaging fees, no added insurance, and no minimum purchase. The price shown is the price you pay at checkout. Bowlingball.com. It's where bowlers go.
See.